John, a happy place. This week, very colorful project for you, but mixed with learning a bit more about color wheel and how colors interact with each other. So we are creating very colorful, I call them folky kind of mandalas with acrylic paint, but based on the knowledge how complementary colors work together. So when you put them next to each other, what happens? And in the video, I have example of working with the color wheel, explaining to you how visually colors interact with each other. And I hope you like it, and I hope you take that knowledge somewhere else. People all love working with color, but knowing more about the color and knowing how color actually work and how it doesn't work. You know, why do we sometimes get the brown when we mix colors? It's really powerful knowledge, and I hope you use that in your art. Take care. Bye bye. Okay, so let's get started. So this is an example of the very colorful mandala I did a while ago, and people often comment like, oh, I love the colors choice, they're so vibrant. And to be honest with you, it's all about just knowing how colors work. And yes, we go with the feelings of the colors, but also there are some principles from art that really help you to understand how some colors work and how some color combinations do not work. So I thought, let's just create this very colorful mandala based on the knowledge of basic principles of color wheel and complementary colors. So you'll start understanding how those colors interact with each other. So I'm going to be working on, again, recycling piece of cardboard. Use paper or cardboard, whatever you want. I have some brushes and I'm working with acrylic paints today. So I have my color wheel and I arrange my paint in a very similar way so you get the understanding. So let's just go through that first. So we had red, we had orange, we have yellow, we have green, and of course here I left the space because this is going to be combination of those two. So the more yellow we put here and less green, we're gonna get this yellow green. The more green and less yellow, we're gonna get the more like bluish green. Sorry, that's for this part. So I left those bits in between. I'm gonna mix them in a minute. So we have green, blue, and then purple, and of course white and black for contrast work or changing some colors. So let me just combine here something. We have green. So this is going to be our green, but you can see, and I hope you can see, it's leaning more towards the yellow. It's really a fresh spring green. And here I'm going to create green again, but with more blue in it. And this is still green, but this one is leaning more towards seaweed, kind of green, bluish green. And you can see the difference. Yeah, a little bit more. You see, between those two greens, they're very different. Now we have purple here. And again, this can lean towards blue more. I can also lean more towards red because it's created from those two colors. So this is our purple, more blue purple. And let's some red purple. So this is more like wine color of berries. Or you can tell the difference. Okay, I think this one is more purple. Okay, so that is just to show you how those colors can vary. Now you can get that variation of colors just from basic colors, primary colors. So if you have red, yellow and blue, you can mix the secondary colors. So you're going to get green from yellow and blue. You are going to get purple from red and blue, and of course you're gonna get orange from yellow and red, but because I had some of them already in tubes, I was a bit lazy. So you can mix your secondary colors from primaries, and then adding a bit more of each of the color that you mixed into, you have different variations. So for example, if you mixed blue and yellow, you're gonna get gray. The more yellow you give to your green, the more be like fresh spring kind of green. The more blue you have in your mixture of green, it's going to be seaweed. And the same with the purple, and the same also with the orange, but I just left orange here. Now on the color wheel, and the main principle is that the colors that sit opposite each other, so let's have orange and blue, for example, or green and violet, or red and green. They are complementary colors, which means when they sit against each other, they really make each other pop. And this is what happened in this painting, because I had things like green here and purple. It really made it pop. I had orange and I had blue next to orange, so we can see orange and blue are sitting on opposite sides in color wheel. So it makes things pop. They become really vivid. Those colors start dancing. However, what happens when you mix them is a completely different story. So let me just show you a quick experiment here. See if you have, let's go with this example. See if you have red and green, next to each other, they will make each other pop. This is very often used in folk art. But if you mix them, you get dull brown. So the secret is not to mix complementary colors unless you want to achieve earthy brownish colors. But if you want the colors to pop, use complementary colors next to each other. Then you can also play with your white and black for the contrast accents. So in this project, we're mainly learning to work with complementary colors by putting them in one piece of artwork. So I have a bit of circle, I have a circle outline here in pencil. Not sure if you can see that. And this is very free flow mandala. I will start from the center, but like this one, you know, this one was very wobbly. For me, it's just experimenting how those colors can work in one painting when they place next to each other. And the reason I arrange my paint this way makes it easy for me to grab colors that sit in opposite to each other. Or if I want to mix, like here, I know I'm going for colors next to each other, so I create more harmony. So I'm going to start maybe with the green, just pure green in the middle. With acrylics, of course, when they dry, you can layer them. And then I'm going to reach for my bluish, not even making more blue now, green. So those colors sit very close to each other on color wheel. And I'm going to go with yellow, which is still very close to green. So, you know, create different patterns with your brush, dots, lines. So here I have like two colors in this yellow because my brush was still having green on it, but that's fine. And now I start thinking about complementary color. So my greens will go opposite greens are the purples. Just gonna go with purple, but I want a bit lighter. But I'm not mixing those ones because I know they will give me brown. Okay. And now I'm going to reach for purple that is bluish purple. So I know this can go in on top of that because it will not mix into brown. They close to each other. And now it's time for a bit of contrast work. So let me reach for white. Still with this purple on my brush so I can have two colors. Okay, that's the start. Sometimes you need to clear your brushes in between, especially when you change from colors sitting opposite on each on the color wheel, because it will create that brownish. Okay, so I have lots of purples and greens here. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to reach for color which is not opposite, but still not close. So orange. And orange also is not very close to green, so it will create contrast. And now I can go into those areas that are almost dry. So coming back to the color wheel, we have orange and we have green. So you can see the red orange, they almost opposite. So again, I have to be careful not to mix them unless I want brown. Okay. And I'm reaching for my yellow to make that had some orange, so very yellowish orange. So it's very much now about deciding about different patterns in your painting. And just remembering those colors relationships I was talking about. So we have blue here, and I know very well that red will be like very contrasting. Sits on the very opposite end of each other, those two colors. So this is how, you know, this kind of, for me personally, this gives the like a colorful folk art. For some reason, I keep thinking Mexican kind of colors. Maybe because they use a very much like bold primary green and red next to each other. And I'm just going to build up on that. I still have that red. So, you know, this can go for a long time. Of course, I will have to now carry on with that and show you the finished painting. I think you get the idea how those colors work with each other. Just, it's going to be very rich pumpkin kind of orange because I had red on my brush. And then use white and black carefully for your contrast work. And remember, with acrylics, all you need for them to give another layer. If you don't want it to mix, just let it dry and then go on top of that. Just bring some black maybe to show you how little of that you need. So see, black is very it's called dead color. However, it does impact colors relationships very much. So use those ones for your contrast. I'm just having more of that. This is this purple that has more red in it, like a berry color. I like to call it berries. Okay. And again, I have orange here, so I know I can place this one next to those warm colors. So sometimes come back to primaries if you feel like you want more vibrant kind of effect. Okay, so of course, you know, I'm going to carry on. I haven't even done the border yet, which is here. So I'm just thinking maybe I'll roughly just indicate that border. But this is a very relaxing activity, you know, playing with those colors and having a bit more control over colors gives you confidence you can achieve a bit more, not just happy accident, which is nothing wrong with that. It gives you a bit more confidence. Okay, I know that I don't want that brown here by mixing those colors, so I'm not mixing them. Okay, and I'll carry on working on that. And you probably notice I'm not very fully symmetrical here. I don't really care. This one wasn't. And I'm going to introduce some also not so straight lines, more organic lines as well into that gradually. So it brings again different shapes. So something like that. And then remember about your blacks and whites to be used for the contrasting work. Okay, let me finish and I show you the final piece. Okay, so this is how far I got. It's still a bit wet and I can still work on it. The problem is when I have paint, as long as I have paint, I carry on working on it. So this is how far I managed to get with the one I was showing you. Oh, it's now attached to the paper. Just take that off. And this is the previous one I was showing as well. So, you know, very colorful, very folkish, I call them. Have a go and see what happens when you play with those knowledge of colors, which ones put next to each other and which ones just avoid mixing. Have fun and let me know how that worked for you. Bye bye.